This is a 2007 Nissan 350Z. It is hard to find one completely stock, but it's really good out of the gate. It's really good off the showroom floor, and that is testament to how good the platform is and the fact that there's an entire race series crafted around the 350Z, and that they're such fast cars on track. When you set them up, that speaks volumes.
Yes, for sure. Well, that's
to how good this car is.
If you step beyond spec Miata, the place you step into is spec Z, and it's just a bunch of 350s with open exhausts completely bleeding your ears. They're fast and fun, but that's what they all are.
You're watching Everyday Driver. We make a TV show, podcast,
and YouTube channels helping you find a car you'll love.
This is our second Cheap Car Challenge, and with the help of Auto Tempest, we're doing a year of adventures in $7,500 sports cars.
Subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Well, this is an 07, so this is the first year of a mid-cycle refresh. It's called the HR for high revving. It's got a little bit more power, up to 306 now. We'll embrace the continuous improvement. We'll embrace that.
For sure.
This also, stylistically speaking, is a pretty big departure for Nissan. I think people saw this and just went, oh man, yeah, you look at the back end of this thing, it's wide, it looks like a race car, it looks fast. And it's been a while since you and I have driven this car.
Long time.
And I'm remembering how good it is to drive. I kind of forgot.
I think it drives better than I remember.
Yeah.
We had it in a Z car comparison, and we didn't like it in comparison to the 300 and 370 very much. Those two won over the 350, though we still like the 350. But this, once you get to this HR mid-cycle refresh, I mean, there's refinements to the steering and the brakes and other things happening here. Once you get here, they really are fine-tuning the platform, and it really is working very well. There is tons of community. If you want to actually upgrade it to make it, finish that sentence, you can make this Z car whatever you'd like, just based on the parts you put on it, and those parts are plentiful.
Well, the way this car drives is initially heavy when you turn it in. You can feel that Nissan put most of their engineering efforts into the mechanicals, into the drivetrain. It's also dramatically heavier, it's 3,400 pounds. Now,
it's also the coupe.
It's the coupe, very true. I'd never liked them in the convertible. I never thought they were good looking.
No, I don't think they're good cars in the convertible. They're not stiff enough.
Yeah, I never liked them. And the signature move for this car is the headliner. It's that window outline. It's that shape from the A-pillar all the way to the back. So tossing it into the first corner, it's got a pretty heavy steering feel.
Yeah.
You can tell this is not one of the lighter weight cars, but what I love about us including this is it is a genuine sports car. And because there is such a community and a race series dedicated to these, they're fast sports cars.
Well, you think about the fact that other things like this, if you will, the FRS, the 86 chassis, that is also a coupe, that is also naturally aspirated, that gets tracked a lot. The problem is, those aren't $8,000.
No,
these
they're
have been
not
around long enough that you can get the 03s, 4s, 5s. Those are available for this $8,000 figure very easily.
Yeah.
And if it isn't quite right, what do you want to do to it?
It's interesting. The car wallows just a little bit, wondering what it's going to do, and then as soon as you go a little bit more with your steering, it plants itself and it goes through the corner. Brilliantly, I might add. It's just ever so slightly vague at that turn in. And this is one of the cars that you can come hard into a corner, downshift, and throw it in, and it's got the power to get you out. The problem along with that is the weight of the car, and I can feel that through every turn. It settles and it sticks, but it's just heavy. Personally, I can't say that the styling has aged really well. I can't really...
It looks old. It does.
I don't love the styling. I never really loved it when the car came out. But I do appreciate that signature line that is very Z car and what Nissan has done. I love the turn switches. I love the driver-focused interior. And of course, just like the old ones, the gauges are angled at the driver. But the rest of the interior, it was cheap new, and it's even more so now. It's not good.
This is stark. This is really, really stark, and it's big slabs of textured plastic. Now, we were also noticing the fact that because the last Z we drove was older than this one, they've added these little pieces of texture around where your knees hit and your elbows hit, trying to make it a little bit nicer. It's still not very nice. This interior is rough.
Yeah, and it wears quickly. So do the seats. But then you have to think about what are your priorities. And if you do want to do some modding, I think this and the Miata are really the ones that are up there as far as parts availability, community, and enthusiasm for modding these things.
Yeah, the platform it's Legos. It's what do you want to do to it. It really has that same thing. It is the closest to the Miata in that regard.
It's almost like you're obligated to.
Yeah.
So to find a stock car is such a rare thing.
Near to impossible to do that, for sure. The door handles are cool. The rest of the door, really boring. The door handle, I feel like somebody really thought about this area right here to try to incorporate a lot of things are going. There's all kinds of. You talk about visual interest. There's all kind of visual interest in a 6-inch square of the door,
and the rest of it,
they forgot about.
You ordered some door.
You ordered some door. That's exactly
there
right.
It is.
Just big swath of door. I need roughly 3.5 feet of door, one by like 2.5 feet of door. Coming right up, sir.
Just a blank panel.
Door.
But what I do like about it, even though the interior is rough, is this overall quality feel. You drive it and those mechanicals just feel like you can beat on them.
It does
people do.
It does feel mostly indestructible, doesn't it?
It's a weird feeling. It does not feel delicate, but along with that, it feels heavy. So there's a lot of trade-off, and it really depends on what you're looking for. If you want to leave your car stock, I think there's lighter, better options here. But if you're looking to mod in any category, you want to go racing, you want to go drifting, you want a street or something just far sportier than this is, you've got the parts to do it. Now you're talking more money because you're almost obligated to mod these things when you buy one. It's almost like, oh, you bought a Z. What are you going to do to it?
What's next?
If the answer is no, that's a problem.
The owner of this car was actually telling us that since he's bought it, all he's gotten from other Z owners is questions about, are you going to do this or this or this? That's what everybody does.
I agree. All right, well, you have to feel this heavy feel. This thing just roars.
It does.
It's not a delicate instrument.
This is a rare beast to be naturally aspirated, which is rare now. An actual coupe, dedicated two-seater that is not something 60 grand or above. These were 30 grand to get into a brand new one when they first came out, and now they're all over the place at affordable prices.
The race car world is littered with 350Zs.
Yes.
Which is really cool.
It's amazing, just like with the Miata.
Stock is so weird.
Once you get a race series, then the cars seem to proliferate because then there's parts availability, then there's ways to refine them, and so all of a sudden you have a whole car community that becomes just eternal because people are racing those models.
Although even though the car drives heavy and feels heavy, your seating position is pretty lightweight. The cowl here is pretty low.
Yeah.
You can see everything. Visibility is great in this car.
Visibility is good. You're not way down in the car feeling like you're swallowed by it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I've got good headroom. I could wear a helmet in this car.
Yeah.
You've got some storage. The storage on this car was never very good, but there is some.
It's better than most. It's better than many of the cars here.
Going to use all 306 horsepower.
Yeah.
6 more thanks to 2007.
That's right.
2006, I might not be able to do this pass, but with a 2007, passing.
See, thrashy and roaring. Yeah.
Thrashing and roaring. Hello, sir.
Now, huh?
Yeah, we are. That's a speed I haven't seen all day, actually. That's pretty impressive. What I am surprised by with this car is the fact that I feel like these are aging much better than I expected them to. And I don't mean that. I don't mean that in styling. I think the styling feels old.
I do too.
I think it's grown into its dynamics. I think as the rest of the market has left this field, they've left naturally aspirated, they've left stuff that is hydraulic steering, they've left stuff that is a dedicated sports car rear-wheel drive feel. The rest of the market has just walked away from all of those things.
True.
That has made this come into its own and be intriguing in a way that I don't even think 10 years ago it was so intriguing.
And I feel like being a passenger here now, I wouldn't want to go on a road trip in this car.
It's loud.
I feel like this generation was trying too hard to really bring the sport back. But they did.
Yeah.
But as far as passenger and being a passenger here, I don't really want to sit here for a long road trip. I think it's better for the driver than it is passenger.
I agree with that.
Nissan had to decide with subsequent generations, what are we going to be? Are we going to be a GT car? What is the Z going to morph into? Although I like that it was very driver focused as far as making this the driver experience and putting all the mechanicals as this is what you want as far as a driver. It's stark. It's not comfortable here.
I do like
Don't
this.
want to be here.
I like this rotation a lot. The car feels heavy, though.
It's very heavy.
It definitely feels heavy. Hundreds of pounds heavier than everything else we brought. It definitely feels like a heavy car. Now, it is going to be robust. It's proven to be robust. This engine has known to kind of outlive the world because there's so many parts, if nothing else.
This kind of begs to be thrashed on in a weird way.
It does have that demeanor. Well, also when you buy one cheap, you just think I bought a cheap Z car. It's the exact opposite feeling that you get from some of these German cars. You buy a really cheap German car and you just kind of go, I don't know, should I push this?
It's delicate.
You buy this car for cheap and you just think, let's go thrash on
Exactly.
that. Let's go drift it. Let's go track it. What could possibly go wrong? That's the demeanor that this suggests. And when you get in and drive it, it seems to hold up to that, to be like, yeah, you want to bring it? Let's go.
Which I'm glad that Nissan did that with the 350Z, because subsequent generations don't feel that way. They feel that they were trying to be more things to more customers. This was just sort of like race car, just a little bit more pure, even though it's not light. They could have done a lot to lighten this up and make it actually a little bit more attentive, but
well, it's an interesting.
It's still good.
It's an interesting contrast to the 300ZX before, because the 300ZX weighed actually a tiny bit more than this, but it was twin turbo. This was naturally aspirated again, and the 300ZX was very much thinking about being a GT car in addition to being a sports car, and this is naturally aspirated down to the raw metrics of what do we need, what's the core that we need to make a sports car. This feels pulled back to that essence more than the 300ZX was.
Agreed. Really trying to decide and weigh my wants right now. Do I want this? I think my answer is only if I were doing a race series, because it does feel so robust. It feels so thrashy. And
go buy a track car.
But otherwise, I think there's better choices here if you just want a fun cruiser or even just a lightweight sports car. I think there's better choices.
I am thrilled with how well it is aging as a driver machine.
As a driving
It's
car,
a great tool to go have a fun day at a back road, go drift it, go take it to the track or the autocross. It's a fantastic platform for that. And honestly, I'm just sitting here boggled by how well it's holding up in that regard.
It is.
Coming into this, I was like, the 350Z should be here. I'm driving it now and going, the 350Z is really a good driver's car.
Absolutely, it should be here. But that just answers the question, should you continue to put money into these cars? Yeah, the community's here. So keep them going. Keep buying these cars and thrashing them on track.
Once you've got a race series, it's kind of the world is endless.
And it's almost like the old ones are better, like these. The 350s are kind of the one you want if you want to do anything with it. But if you leave it stock, you gotta have a darn good reason to leave it stock.
Well, according to the community, you do, certainly, unless, of course, we call and need to shoot it, then we really need a stock one. So thank you to the owner for having one that's stock and for fighting off to all the people that have said, you have to change this, because then we wouldn't have been able to use it.
It's totally true.
Do your own $7,500 or less search. Click the Auto Tempest link in the video description and tell us in the comments what you've come up with.